Abby sent us a little thing that she wanted us to read.
Just try to speak just a little louder. I know it's going to be difficult. So that way Rachel will hear you.
Okay.
We're on the road.
I can hear you fine before.
Alright, Rodney, I don't mean to interrupt. Why don't you sit down in there? Maybe they can hear you better.
She said they can hear us.
Okay.
Alright. So here's
Don't back up.
From
Yeah, just
Debbie.
don't back up.
It's kind of lengthy, so I'm just going to read it. Dear friends, I just wanted to take some time to tell you all about Kimberly F. Fagunza. Well, we already know about her, but I'm going to read it anyway. She was born July 11th, 1987 at Sunbury Community Hospital. She was so small that she filled her pappy's two big hands. She was the apple of his eye. The two of them were always together. She was the first grandchild, and she was such a big part of Grandma and Pappy's lives. On December 6, 2007, Kimberly lost her pappy after 16 years of sickness. Kimberly missed her pappy very much and would always say, "Death doesn't end well." As she grew, her Uncle Mel and I, Aunt Debbie, not me, would take, or Aunt Doobie at this, would take her to Sunday school and church every week, and on Wednesday night for Good News Club at the First Baptist Church. At this time, her mom was going to nursing school to make her a better life for them. So we all would help watch her as we could, and she loved to crawl up on her Uncle Mel's lap and get him to read Bible stories to her. She was so full of questions about the stories, and the two of them would sit for hours on end talking. Her Uncle Mel sworn Her Uncle Mel sown the seed. I'm a bad reader. I have to take a reading class in college. Sown the seed in her little heart, and it grew over the years. I'm so thankful
That he took the time to read to her and answer her questions.
When she was older, we began to go to the Gusville Wesleyan Church, and she asked if she could go with us, and we said that it would be wonderful because that showed us she still had a hunger for the Lord. And I just thought, I'm just going to stop for a second, the hunger for the Lord. Tina and I had a real long conversation about the hunger for the Lord, and then right after that, she gave me this, and I read it, and I was like, wow, just how that stuff fits in. So, after we were there for a little while at the church, I was asked to help with Clubhouse, and Kimberly was my cheerleader and encouraged me. She said to me, if God gives you the gift, you are to use it. So I really think you should do Clubhouse because I want you as my teacher anyway. So when she was going to 7th grade, there wasn't anything for her on Wednesday nights except, as she would call it, Old People Church, which was prayer meeting. So Kimberly and some of the other kids came to Kathy and me and wanted us to have a Bible study just for them. So that summer we looked into different things we could do, and we found material on Bible Bowl where the teens would study a book of the Bible, would study a certain book of the Bible. So we thought, what a great idea. So we presented it to the teens, and Kimberly, Rodney, Nikki, Taylor, and Cole, and a few others were so excited about doing this and agreed to do a Bible study. So we went to Pastor Greg, and he got us material that we all needed, and he was a friend of Jim McFadden, who was at the time the director of the district Bible Bowl, and he invited us to Cherryville to watch a competition, and from that day on, Kimberly and the rest were hooked. It was and still is, to this day, a blessing to see teens learn God's Word. Kimberly was still involved in Bible Bowl as an official up to the time of her death. Kimberly was the first teen in many years to go to the youth camp. When she came home, you could not keep her quiet about camp. So the following year, she talked to Rodney into going with her, and he did. She could talk Rodney into anything. He would plug in her hands, and he loved it. So when they came back that year, we had two of them talking, and since then there has been so much excitement for youth camp, and they all want to go. This year youth camp will be very hard for everyone because Kimberly was to go as staffer instead of camper. So please pray for Pastor Greg. She was supposed to work with him on security. The best part for me was when Kimberly came back from camp and told Uncle Mel that she gave her heart to the Lord, and we were on cloud nine. Throughout her life, she didn't always walk close to the Lord, but he always had her hand, and he carried her when she was down in the valley, and she knew he was there always. She attended many youth functions through the years. This past year, in December, the youth from all over went to Florida for the Wesleyan Youth Convention. It was there that she rededicated her life to the Lord and returned to Him and held on to His hand. So when they came back from youth convention, Kimberly and Rodney started talking about going to Mexico on a missions trip, just like he did last year. So her family encouraged her to start praying about it, and if it was meant that they were to be on a missions trip, the doors would open, and doors were opening. So Rodney and Kimberly came to me and asked if I would help them raise the money they needed to go on the trip, and I told them that I would love to help them. So this next part of the letter just breaks my heart to write, but with the help of Christ, I will continue. So Friday, March 28, 2008, Kimberly's family got the worst call they could ever receive. Kimberly was in a very bad front-end collision with a 15-passenger school van. She was life-flighted to Geisinger Medical Center in Danville, Pennsylvania. She was in the ER, and the doctors came to the family and said that things did not look good, and that she already coded once, and that there was a severe swelling of her brain. We needed to go to her in the ER and say her goodbyes and tell her that we loved her and that we would be praying for her and that Jesus was with her no matter what, and to hold on to His hand and to let Him carry her in the lowest valley she was ever in. We were told that if she would make it through the surgery, we would be lucky. Well, she made it through the surgery, so then it would be 12 hours. She would have to get then it would be 12 hours, and she would have a good chance. Well, we the family had so much support from the church family. We always had them with us. Well, on Sunday, March 30th, we got a call to come back to the hospital. She took a turn for the worse, and that Sunday morning, we had at least 60 people from the church in the waiting room, just praying and holding our hands. We were all praying that God would heal Kimberly's broken body and give her back to us. Well, the Lord had another healing in mind for Kimberly. On Wednesday, April 2nd, 2008, the Lord answered their prayers and healed her broken body. He took her home to heaven with Him. Even though it is not the healing that we all wanted, we know that Kimberly is in heaven with the Lord. And now she can ask all the questions that her Uncle Mel can never answer, and only God can answer anyway. So Kimberly can also see her beloved Pappy. So the family decided, instead of flowers, that they would like to do something in Kimberly's memory. So with the help of the teens, led by Rodney, we decided to call it the Kimberly Fallon Magunza Memorial Fund to help put the roof on the rehabilitation building in Mexico, since she planned on going to the Mexico mission. So I hope that this will help in some small way. Thank you for being willing to hang the plaque in memory of Kimberly, and it means a lot to her family. As Kimberly would say, death doesn't stop love. We always will love her. In love, Aunt Doobie, Debbie Beisel, and then Eric Jones. So that's the letter that Deb wanted us to read here on top of the roof that we completed in memory of Kim. Now, is there anybody that would like to share a memory that they had of Kimberly?
When I was in the room, Kimberly had her. She held her the entire time that we butchered turkeys, even if it was just so she didn't have to get her hands dirty.